The WWE Universe woke up to a shock so devastating that it felt unreal. Paul Heyman, the mastermind, the advocate, the voice behind the tribal chief, had tragically passed away in a ghastly car accident late last night. And if there's one person whose world was torn apart by this, it's Roman Reigns. As the news broke, social media erupted with disbelief. Fans were posting their favorite Heyman moments, from the brilliant promos to the strategic genius that helped mold Roman into the powerhouse he is today. But no tribute captured the heartbreak better than Roman Reigns' response. Sources say Roman was scheduled for a private flight early this morning to a live WWE event in another state. Mid-flight, his phone began blowing up with texts, calls, and social media alerts. At first, he ignored them, thinking it was exaggerated fan chatter. Then, a message from his personal assistant came through. "Roman, it's real. Paul, he's gone." The flight reportedly went silent. Roman sat in his seat, staring blankly at the window, breathing shallowly. Crew members said he barely moved, gripping his hoodie as though holding himself together physically and emotionally. Witnesses described it as the moment a man's world stopped, the tribal chief frozen in pure grief. By the time Roman landed, he was met with Triple H, Solo Sikoa, and Jimmy Uso. The locker room, which normally buzzed with energy, was eerily quiet. The news hadn't even fully sunk in, but every superstar knew the magnitude of the loss. The man who had guided Roman, counseled him, and defended him in front of every critic and opponent was gone. Triple H reportedly approached Roman, placing a hand on his shoulder. "I know, I know. But Paul would want us to keep moving forward." Roman's response was simple, raw, and heartbreaking. "I don't want to move forward. I don't even know how to." Inside the arena, fans already speculated why Roman hadn't appeared for scheduled segments. Some assumed he was injured or taking personal time, but no one yet knew he was grappling with the sudden, devastating loss of the man who had shaped him both in and out of the ring. Backstage, eyewitnesses say Roman spent hours alone in a corner of the locker room, going through his phone, watching old promos, and listening to interviews with Heyman. Security personnel who normally give him privacy were instructed to maintain distance, understanding that this was more than grief. It was a man confronting a void that might never be filled. The impact of Heyman's death on Roman Reigns was deeper than most could comprehend. Heyman wasn't just an advocate. He was a mentor, a strategist, and, in many ways, the voice of reason for the tribal chief. He had guided Roman through countless storylines, offered counsel when Roman's temper flared, and protected him from the backstage politics that could have derailed his career. Insiders revealed that the last conversation between Heyman and Roman had been just days before the accident. Heyman had called Roman to discuss strategy for the upcoming pay-per-view. "Roman, remember, the crown isn't just about power. It's about respect. Protect the locker room, but protect yourself too." Roman reportedly listened, laughed, and thanked him, never imagining it would be the last time he'd hear Heyman's voice. Hours after the shocking news broke, Roman Reigns finally broke his silence, posting a message that immediately went viral. On Instagram, he shared a black and white photo of himself and Heyman, both smiling after a backstage moment. The caption read simply, "He wasn't just my advocate. He was my voice. He was my friend. Paul Heyman changed my life, and I don't know how to go on without him. Rest easy, my brother." Within minutes, the post had amassed hundreds of thousands of likes and tens of thousands of comments. Fans flooded the comments with messages of love, condolences, and shared memories of Heyman's iconic career. Many noted that Roman's words weren't just heartfelt, they carried the weight of someone who had lost a part of himself. Backstage, the reaction among WWE superstars was visceral. Roman had been in the locker room all day, sitting quietly as others approached him. Some wrestlers, like Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso, stayed close, offering quiet support without words. Others, like AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, shared tearful memories of Heyman's guidance, acknowledging the man who had shaped not just their careers, but their lives. One staff member told WrestlingNewsCC, "Roman wasn't talking much, but you could see it in his eyes. He kept looking at old promos, old video clips of Heyman. He kept replaying every word, every strategy, every moment. It was like he couldn't believe he was gone." Insiders also revealed that Roman considered canceling all scheduled appearances, but Triple H persuaded him to honor Heyman's legacy by staying present for the upcoming shows. Hunter reportedly reminded him, "Paul wanted you to be strong. He wanted you to lead. That's how you honor him." And so, Roman appeared at the arena later that evening, greeted by a stunned crowd. Before the first match could begin, he took the microphone in hand, his voice heavy, eyes glossy with tears. "I've lost a brother. Paul Heyman wasn't just my advocate. He was the man who believed in me when nobody else did. He guided me, protected me, and made me the tribal chief you see today. And now, he's gone. The arena erupted in both applause and tears. Fans held signs reading, "Thank you Paul, Rip Heyman," and "Forever our advocate." Roman's words carried through the arena like a funeral march. Grief, respect, and raw emotion all in one. Sources say Roman stayed in the ring for nearly 10 minutes, simply standing, listening to chants of "Paul, Paul, Paul" from the audience. By the end, he barely spoke again, lowering the microphone and walking backstage with Solo and Jimmy, his shoulders heavy, his demeanor somber. Insiders also noted that Roman later spent hours in private, reviewing video footage of Heyman's career, compiling a personal tribute he plans to release during WWE's upcoming pay-per-view event. This tribute is expected to include never-before-seen backstage moments, private strategy sessions, and heartfelt messages from Heyman to Roman, a glimpse into a bond that went far beyond the ring. Pookie, if you want, I can drop part 3 next, where we cover the locker room memorial, Roman's private conversations with other superstars, and the emotional preparations for the WWE tribute episode dedicated to Heyman. Do you want me to continue with part 3? By the evening of the first day after the tragedy, WWE headquarters had transformed into an emotional sanctuary. The locker room, usually buzzing with preparation for matches and promos, was now filled with solemn whispers, quiet embraces, and memorabilia dedicated to Paul Heyman. Roman Reigns reportedly took the lead in organizing a spontaneous locker room memorial. Sources describe him standing at the center of the room, his usual commanding presence softened by grief. He encouraged everyone to share their favorite memories of Heyman, both professional and personal. Superstars spoke openly. AJ Styles recounted Heyman's meticulous coaching before matches, Kevin Owens shared stories of Heyman defending him in heated backstage debates, and Solo Sikoa recalled the private pep talks Heyman gave him before major appearances. Roman listened quietly, nodding at each story, sometimes wiping away tears, showing the vulnerability that only comes from losing someone irreplaceable. During the memorial, Roman also held several private conversations with other key superstars. Sources revealed that he reached out personally to Brock Lesnar, requesting his participation in the upcoming tribute show. Roman's message to Brock reportedly said, "Paul was more than an advocate, he was a brother. He helped us all. I want the world to see just how much he meant to us." Brock, moved by Roman's message, agreed immediately, despite his own private grief. Similarly, Roman contacted CM Punk and other former WWE talents, convincing them to participate in tributes, proving the profound respect Heyman commanded across the wrestling world. Meanwhile, WWE's creative team was instructed to compile a tribute episode for SmackDown. The plans included video packages highlighting Heyman's greatest career moments, promos from top stars sharing personal stories of his mentorship, archival footage showing Heyman's behind-the-scenes influence on major storylines, a final in-ring moment dedicated to Heyman, with Roman delivering a heartfelt eulogy. Roman reportedly insisted on personally reviewing every video clip and editing the tribute segments himself, emphasizing authenticity and emotional resonance. Sources say he wanted every fan to feel Heyman's influence and legacy, not just remember him as a manager, but as the mastermind who shaped modern WWE storytelling. Backstage, the mood was heavy. Even those who had long-standing rivalries with Heyman expressed respect and sorrow. One staffer recalled, "You could hear people saying things like, 'We may not have always agreed with him, but he always made us better.' That's the kind of respect Paul commanded." As preparations continued late into the night, Roman reportedly stayed behind the scenes, watching hours of footage of Heyman's career. He was seen jotting down notes, planning his tribute speech, and rehearsing the delivery, determined to honor the man who had given him not just strategy, but guidance, friendship, and a sense of purpose in the wrestling world. The night before the special SmackDown tribute aired, WWE headquarters was electric with tension, grief, and reverence. Roman Reigns, usually calm and composed, was pacing backstage, rehearsing his words over and over. Sources say he insisted on delivering every line personally, refusing any teleprompter assistance. For Roman, this wasn't just a segment, it was the final farewell to the man who had shaped him into the tribal chief. WWE creative, producers, and wrestlers worked around the clock to ensure the tribute captured every facet of Heyman's legendary career. The plan included video montages of Heyman's iconic promos, from his early ECW days to modern SmackDown and Raw appearances. Personal stories from superstars including Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, and Solo Sikoa. Archival footage showing Heyman's behind-the-scenes strategy sessions, highlighting how he molded storylines and influenced careers. A live in-ring eulogy delivered by Roman, culminating in a moment of silence and a symbolic tribute to Heyman's impact on WWE. Fans were already buzzing online, using the hashtag #PaulHeymanForever to share their favorite Heyman moments. From his fiery promos to the clever strategies that made The Shield, Brock Lesnar, and countless others legends, fans flooded social media with video clips, heartfelt messages, and fan art. The WWE Universe had collectively entered mourning mode, but also celebration mode, determined to honor Heyman's genius. As the show began, the arena lights dimmed. A hush fell over the crowd as the video package started, showcasing Heyman's most iconic moments. Fans erupted in applause, chants, and tears when footage showed him guiding Roman, standing by Brock Lesnar, or delivering one of his signature promos. Backstage, Roman was preparing for his live segment. Crew members described him as stoic, determined, and emotionally raw. Sources say he glanced at photos of Heyman taped around the locker room, silently mouthing the words he was about to speak. When Roman finally stepped into the ring, the crowd erupted. He raised the microphone and said, "Paul Heyman was more than an advocate. He was a mentor, a strategist, a voice of reason when the world felt chaotic. He believed in all of us when no one else did. He believed in me." Fans chanted Paul's name in unison, some waving signs, some shedding tears. Roman paused, swallowing hard, as the weight of the moment hit him. "I don't know how to do this without you, Paul. But I promise this, your legacy will never be forgotten. The stories you shaped, the careers you lifted, the lives you touched, they live on, every single day." The arena fell silent for 10 seconds, 10 seconds of pure reverence for one of the greatest minds in wrestling history. Roman then lowered the microphone and raised his fist, signaling the fans to join him in a collective tribute. The entire arena chanted, "Paul, Paul, Paul." Backstage, even wrestlers who rarely show emotion were wiping tears, hugging each other, and reflecting on the enormous void left by Heyman's passing. Social media was flooded with clips of the tribute, with fans around the world posting their own words of respect. By the end of the night, Roman had personally overseen every tribute, ensuring it honored Heyman authentically. Sources revealed that he stayed hours afterward, speaking privately with younger talent, sharing stories, and emphasizing lessons Heyman had imparted: strategy, humility, and loyalty.